Today, we're diving into one of the biggest questions in the crypto world. Is Binance safe? But instead of just giving you a simple yes or no, we're actually going to build a framework together, a toolkit that you can use to answer that question for yourself.
I mean, this is the big one, isn't it? And you're absolutely right to be asking it. Doesn't matter if you've been trading for years or you're just dipping your toes in. The security of your money, of your assets, has to be priority number one.
But here's the catch. There's no easy yes or no answer that fits everyone. See, safety in the crypto space isn't just one thing. It's got a bunch of different layers. So in this explainer, we're going to give you the mental model, the framework to evaluate the safety of any crypto platform out there.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll unpack what safety even means. Then we're going to look at three massive areas: the tech that's literally guarding the vault, the rules of the road they have to follow, and who's really running the show behind the curtain. And then we'll bring it all together.
Okay, let's jump right in. Before we can even begin to answer the question, we have to agree on what the question is. What does safe really mean when we're talking about a crypto exchange? You can really break safety down into four big pieces. Think of this as your personal safety checklist. First up, the hardcore technical security. Then, are they playing by the rules? That's regulatory compliance. Third, how open and honest is the company? That's transparency. And you might be surprised, the fourth one is all about your role in this. Let's dig into each one. First things first, securing the vault. This is all about the digital nuts and bolts, right? The firewalls, the encryption, all the technology that's supposed to keep your funds out of the hands of bad actors. So the real question you have to ask is this: what kind of fortress have they actually built? Because you're handing over your hard-earned assets. How strong are their walls against attacks from the outside, and just as importantly, from any threats on the inside? So what should you actually be looking for? Well, here are some absolute non-negotiables. First, two-factor authentication, 2FA. That's that extra code you need to log in. It's a critical second layer. Next, do they use cold storage? This is huge. It means most of the crypto is kept completely offline where hackers just can't get to it. Then there's proof of reserves. This is basically a public audit showing they actually have the assets they claim to have. And finally, look for an insurance fund, something like Binance's Safety fund, which is there to cover losses in a worst-case scenario.
Okay, moving on to our second pillar, navigating the rules. Now, I know this can sound like boring legal stuff, but trust me, it's an absolutely critical layer of protection for you as a customer.
So, why should you even care about government regulation? Well, in a word, accountability. Regulation sets the ground rules. It dictates how these companies have to operate, how they handle your money, and what happens when things go wrong. It's not a silver bullet, but it's a vital piece of this whole safety puzzle.
And you know, there's always a trade-off. A fully regulated exchange, it's generally going to offer you more protections, maybe even a legal path if things go south. An unregulated one might innovate faster, but that speed often comes at the cost of higher risk for you. We see this play out with Binance all the time, facing big regulatory hurdles and fines in some countries, while at the same time getting fully licensed in others. It is absolutely crucial for you to know the rules for the platform where you live. Our third pillar takes us backstage, behind the curtain, to look at the company itself. Because look, great tech and all the right licenses are important, but at the end of the day, you're dealing with people. So the question becomes, can you trust them? This is where you have to do a little homework. First, who's running the show? Look into the leadership team's background. Can you find out where the company is actually based? Is its structure a total mystery? And have they published those third-party audits we talked about? You know, after FTX collapsed, a lot of exchanges, Binance included, started publishing their proof of reserves reports to try and rebuild trust. A company that's open and communicates clearly, especially when things are tough, is a company that's trying to earn your trust. Okay, so we've looked at the tech, we've looked at the rules, and we've peeked behind the curtain at the company. And now we get to the final and maybe the most surprising piece of the puzzle. It turns out the most important person in this entire security equation is you. Yeah, look at this. The big takeaway here is that safety is a partnership. A platform can have the best security in the world and follow every single rule, but a huge slice of the safety pie comes right down to your own personal habits. I love this way of thinking about it. The exchange builds the castle walls, but you hold the key to your own room. Using a strong, unique password, turning on all the security features they offer, and learning how to spot phishing scams, that's your half of the bargain. And really, that brings us to the most important point of this entire explainer. The real answer to "Is Binance safe?" can't come from me or anyone else. The only exchange that is truly safe for you is the one that you've put through this framework yourself, and you've decided, yes, I understand the risks and I'm comfortable with them.
So there you have it. We've given you the framework. You got the checklist for the tech, the rules, and the company's transparency. The power to make a smart, informed decision is officially in your hands. So the only question left is, where are you going to start?